core lesson drawn from our investigations in this context is clear. External military action does not provide accountability, nor does it bring meaningful change. Instead, it risks intensifying domestic repression by a state that routinely resorts to repressive measures to suppress its own people and to suppress dissent. We are deeply concerned that the current security situation may again, as in June 25, be used to escalate repression and to punish those who have dared to express dissent. Executions rose sharply during and after the June hostilities, with an appalling 1,639 recorded during the year, exceeding the global total of known executions for the previous year. Immediately after the strikes ended, in the 3 months between July and September, at least 464 executions were recorded. In the next month, in October, a further 222 people were executed, the highest monthly total recorded in 25 years. April 25, the Council requested us to investigate recent and ongoing serious human rights. These strikes have resulted in mounting reports of civilian casualties, including of children. On the very first day of this campaign, the airstrikes destroyed a school in Minab in southern Iran, killing more than 168 people, the vast majority of them being girl students, many as young as 7 years old. Against this backdrop, we are particularly concerned by public statements from US officials suggesting that long-established rules of engagement do not apply in this conflict. In the context of the armed conflict then between Iran and Israel in June 2025, we found reasonable grounds to believe that in carrying out the airstrikes on Evin Prison, Israel committed the war crime of intentionally directing attacks against a civilian object, killing 80 people, including at least 1 child and 8 women. Second, Iranian authorities themselves failed to protect detainees held at Evin Prison and other places and refused to disclose the fate or whereabouts of some transferred detainees from Evin in acts amounting to enforced disappearance.
My mandate exists for the people of Iran. It does not matter who the perpetrator is. When foreign states strike, now for the second time in less than a year, the people harmed are the same people. I have condemned the US and Israel's attacks as unlawful under the UN Charter last year and this time again. The strikes remain unlawful, no matter the assumed or stated objectives of those strikes. International law is not selectively invoked. It applies to all parties in all circumstances. My mandate has long reported serious concerns of treatment of detainees, from medical neglect, ill treatment to deaths in custody. Since publishing my report, the military escalation heightened concerns about all detainees, including those arrested in connection with the protests. Families report not being able to reach their loved ones, and worrying reports of acute food shortages, medical care are emerging.
Civilians, or in trampling upon the most basic and universal, must speak unequivocally about the innocent children massacred. For 15 years in this very council, certain Western countries have persistently advanced unfounded and politically motivated allegations of human rights violations against Iran, thereby laying the groundwork for the very aggression that we are witnessing today. Minor and isolated issues in Iran were deliberately exaggerated and portrayed as grave and systematic violations in order to manufacture a pretext to normalize hostility against Iran. Through sustained political pressure and propaganda, Iran was gradually portrayed as a legitimate target. Air contaminated with toxic pollutants released as a direct consequence of negotiations was not merely a betrayal of diplomacy itself. It was a betrayal of civilians in Iran and the infliction of needless superfluous. If the response of this Council is once again silence, indifference, or political selectivity, then it would be the end of the Council's stand, after it was severely diminished because of its inaction during the Israel crimes in Gaza. Mr. Vice President, Iran was subjected to aggression while it was actively engaged in negotiations and had explicitly affirmed its commitment to a peaceful and diplomatic resolution. This reality sends a clear and unmistakable message to the international community, and the message is that if reckless militarism, the erosion of multilateralism, and the systematic disregard for genuine human rights are met with silence or indifference, Iran will most certainly not be the last country to suffer such treatment.
In the Islamic Republic of Iran and the independence